gotta fight for your right.
I feel like I'm on top of the mountain even after winning the Super Bowl and having the offseason that I'm having. Living the dream, baby.
From Cleveland Heights to Arrowhead, Travis Kelce went from a suspended college kid fighting for his future to the standard for modern tight ends. A third-round pick who didn't just make the league, he remixed it. Record seasons, postseason dominance, 3 rings, and a personality big enough to carry a locker room, a city, and, yeah, the culture. Watch what happens when talent stops asking for permission and starts setting the standard. Today, I'm taking you into a deep dive on Travis Kelce, and not the version you think you know. Long before the touchdown dances and Super Bowl confetti, Travis Kelce was just a kid from Cleveland Heights, Ohio, growing up in a tight-knit, competitive household that ran on discipline and grit. He was born on October 5th, 1989, the younger of 2 brothers, and from the start, life was a contest he refused to lose. That rivalry lived right across the hallway. His older brother, Jason Kelce, was bigger, louder, and just as hungry. The two shared a small bedroom and spent their childhood arguing, competing, and pushing each other in every way imaginable. Backyard games turned into full-contact battles. Winning mattered, but learning to fight through setbacks mattered more. Their father, Ed Kelce, worked demanding jobs in the steel industry and coached them whenever he could, teaching accountability and work ethic by example. Their mother, Donna Kelce, kept the household steady, making sure both boys believed anything was possible if they earned it. Cleveland Heights itself played a role. It was diverse, tough, and unapologetically real, a place Travis later said shaped his confidence and comfort standing out. He learned early how to move between worlds, to adapt, and to hold his ground. In high school, Travis wasn't boxed into one identity. At Cleveland Heights High School, he played football, basketball, and baseball, flashing a versatility that felt chaotic at the time, but would later define his greatness. On the football field, he was the starting quarterback, leading the team with charisma as much as arm strength. On the basketball court, he was physical and instinctive, pulling down rebounds and pushing tempo. Competition wasn't just something he did, it was who he was. Despite the talent, he wasn't a blue-chip star. College recruiters saw potential, not polish. While Jason earned his path earlier, Travis had to wait, to grind, to prove he could turn raw ability into discipline. That delay became fuel. Travis Kelce did not enter the NFL as a guaranteed star. When the Kansas City Chiefs drafted him in 2013, he wasn't the headline. He wasn't the safest pick. He was a third-round selection with talent, personality, and questions about maturity, consistency, and whether his game would translate. His rookie season didn't answer any of them. Injuries sidelined him before it even began. For most players, that's where momentum dies. For Travis Kelce, it was where discipline finally met ability. By 2014, he earned his place on the field, and once he did, the league had to adjust. Kelce wasn't built like traditional tight ends. He moved like a wide receiver, attacked space like a running back, and played with an edge that defenses couldn't scheme away. Route running became his weapon. Yards after catch became his signature. By 2016, he had become the focal point of the Chiefs' offense. Then came Patrick Mahomes, and everything accelerated. What followed was not just success, but redefinition. Kelce shattered expectations of what a tight end could be. He became the first at his position to record 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, a standard of consistency unheard of at the time. Defenses knew the ball was coming to him. They still couldn't stop it. Postseason football turned him into something else entirely. When the lights were brightest, Kelce was better. Clutch third-down catches, game-changing touchdowns, record-breaking playoff performances that put him alongside, and often above, the greatest pass catchers in NFL history, regardless of position. And then came the championships. Super Bowl 59 was the breakthrough. Super Bowl 67 cemented dominance. Super Bowl 68 turned legacy into inevitability. 3 rings, countless moments, and a resume that forced a conversation few tight ends ever reach. But Kelce's professional life wasn't just about production, it was about presence. He brought personality into a league that often policed it. Swagger, humor, emotion. He celebrated loudly, spoke openly, and refused to shrink himself for approval. On the field, that confidence translated to fearlessness. Off the field, it turned him into a cultural figure, hosting podcasts, starring in commercials, crossing into entertainment without losing credibility in the locker room. That balance is rare. As his career matured, so did his leadership. Kelce became a stabilizing force in Kansas City, someone younger players studied, someone veterans trusted. His preparation became meticulous. His understanding of defenses, surgical. What once looked like instinct was now mastery. And even as the years stacked up, the decline never arrived the way people predicted. Instead, Kelce adapted. Fewer wasted steps, smarter routes, better timing. He didn't outrun defenders, he outthought them. Now, as his career moves into its later chapters, the question isn't if Travis Kelce belongs among the greatest tight ends ever. The question is where he ranks. Because his professional life tells a clear story. He wasn't handed greatness. He earned it through evolution. From overlooked draft pick to generational talent. From raw ability to refined dominance. From player to pillar. Travis Kelce didn't just succeed in the NFL. He changed what success at his position looks like. And long after the final catch, that might be his most enduring impact. And this is where touchdowns turn into dollars. Travis Kelce didn't build his wealth overnight. And he didn't build it on football alone. When the Kansas City Chiefs drafted him in 2013, his first contract was modest by NFL standards, just over $3 million across 4 years. Today, Kelce sits among the most financially successful non-quarterbacks in league history, with an estimated net worth of about $90 million as of 2025 to 2026. The foundation was laid on the field. Across his career, Kelce has earned more than $111 million in NFL salary alone. In April 2024, the Chiefs rewarded his longevity and dominance with a 2-year, $34.25 million extension, including $17 million guaranteed, making him the highest-paid tight end in the NFL on an annual basis at roughly $17.1 million per year. But football paychecks are only half the story. Where Kelce truly separated himself was off the field. By 2024, his endorsement income had exploded to an estimated $30 million per year, surpassing his NFL salary and placing him among the top endorsement earners in the entire league, regardless of position. His brand portfolio reads like a Fortune 500 lineup. Kelce has signed major partnerships with Nike, State Farm, Pfizer, McDonald's, Bud Light, DirecTV, T-Mobile, Old Spice, Tide, Sleep Number, Experian, and Campbell's Chunky, among others. These deals didn't just come from popularity, they came from trust. Brands leaned into his reliability, charisma, and crossover appeal beyond football. One deal changed everything. In August 2024, Travis and his brother Jason signed a 3-year, $100 million distribution deal with Amazon's Wondery for their podcast, New Heights. The agreement instantly transformed Kelce from athlete endorser into a full-scale media figure, with podcast revenue now rivaling elite NFL salaries. And then there are the investments. Kelce has quietly built equity stakes across industries, investing in Cholula hot sauce, which sold for a massive profit, Casa Azul Tequila, Hydro, Players TV, Real Truck, and even the Alpine Formula One team, alongside high-profile partners like Patrick Mahomes and Ryan Reynolds. These aren't endorsement checks, they're ownership plays. The result is leverage. By his mid-30s, Kelce no longer relies on football to sustain his lifestyle or future. His income is diversified. His brand is global. His wealth compounds even when he's not on the field. And while his high-profile relationship brought new attention, the numbers show the truth. Travis Kelce was already wealthy, strategic, and marketable long before the spotlight intensified. His wealth story mirrors his career, consistent, calculated, and built for longevity. Travis Kelce didn't just become rich playing football. He became wealthy by turning excellence into ownership and presence into power. Now let's take a look at how that success shows up at home. Before the mansions and gated driveways, his life began in a modest two-bedroom house in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, a place shared with his older brother Jason, where space was tight, competition was constant, and dreams were louder than square footage. That home, bought by his mother in the mid-1990s for under $140,000, became the foundation where discipline, resilience, and brotherhood were formed. Years later, Kelce quietly bought that childhood house back, transforming memory into meaning. Kansas City marked the next chapter. After being drafted by the Chiefs in 2013, Kelce lived simply, renting before he made his first major real estate move. In 2019, fresh off a Super Bowl victory, he purchased a custom home in Kansas City's Briarcliff West neighborhood for $995,000. At roughly 10,000 square feet, the home struck a balance between comfort and ambition. 7 bedrooms, a private gym, wine room, and backyard pool. It was a champion's house, but it was still visible. As fame grew, so did the need for privacy. That shift became impossible to ignore in late 2023 when Kelce purchased a $6 million, 17,000-square-foot estate in Leawood, Kansas, tucked inside a gated enclave on 3.5 secluded acres. This wasn't an upgrade, it was a strategic move. The French Regency-style mansion features 6 bedrooms, multiple lounges, a wine cellar, full bar, home theater, and resort-level outdoor amenities. A waterfall pool, hot tub, outdoor kitchen, tennis and pickleball court, and even a mini golf course. The property sits at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac, designed for privacy in an increasingly public life. With his global profile skyrocketing, the Leawood estate became not just a residence, but a sanctuary, a place to train, entertain, and disconnect. It's also where Kelce proposed, turning the mansion into a permanent chapter of personal history. But Kelce's real estate footprint doesn't stop in the Midwest. In Florida, he has access to luxury living as well, renting or occupying high-end estates during training periods. He also co-owns a $350,000 condo in Orlando, purchased in 2019 with his brother Jason for their mother, Donna. Proof that even as his lifestyle scaled up, family remained close. Travis Kelce doesn't buy homes to flex wealth. He buys them to match phases of his life. What comes next is his massive car collection. His garage tells a story that mirrors his career. Power when needed, elegance when earned, and just enough flash to remind you who's in control. At the top of the lineup sits his most commanding ride, a Rolls-Royce Ghost, valued at roughly $400,000. This isn't a loud supercar or a flashy speed machine. It's quiet dominance. Hand-stitched leather, a twin-turbo V12, and a presence that announces success without ever raising its voice. When Kelce wants performance, he turns to British muscle. His Aston Martin Vanquish, a V12 Grand Tourer valued around $300,000, delivers raw speed wrapped in tailored elegance. It's a car built for big entrances and special moments, much like Kelce himself in January football. Alongside it sits an Aston Martin Vantage, lighter, sharper, and more aggressive, reflecting the precision and agility that defined his prime years on the field. Then there's the heart of the garage, a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS, a classic American muscle car that stands apart from the luxury fleet. This one isn't about price, it's about feeling. The rumble of the V8, the old-school lines, the nostalgia. Kelce has spoken openly about loving the sound and presence of the Chevelle, often choosing it for relaxed drives. It's a reminder that no matter how far he's climbed, his taste still honors raw power and tradition. Of course, practicality has its place. For everyday movement and privacy, Kelce keeps a lineup of premium SUVs, including a Mercedes AMG G63, Range Rover, Cadillac Escalade, and a GMC Terrain. These aren't afterthoughts, they're strategic, big, comfortable, discreet when needed. Vehicles that fit his size, lifestyle, and constant movement without demanding attention. And then there's the future. Kelce has added a GMC Hummer EV to the mix, an all-electric powerhouse that blends innovation with brute strength. It's a signal that his interests are evolving, just like his investments. Sustainability, technology, and presence, without sacrificing power. Altogether, his collection is estimated to be worth well over $1.3 to $1.4 million. But the number isn't the point. What matters is the balance. Luxury without excess. Performance without recklessness. Flash without insecurity. Travis Kelce's cars aren't trophies. They're extensions of who he is at each stage of life. From muscle car kid to NFL superstar to global icon who no longer needs to prove speed. Because he already owns it. When Travis Kelce leans into luxury, it's never about shouting success. It's about ease. His lifestyle reflects someone who's past proving anything. Days are built around comfort and control. Custom tailoring that moves with his body, premium fabrics chosen for feel over flash, and routines designed to protect longevity. This is luxury as maintenance, not spectacle. On his wrist, Kelce favors classic high-end watches, the kind worn by people who understand time. A Rolex Submariner or Datejust, pieces that quietly sit in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, and occasionally an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, which signals entry into true elite territory. These aren't trend pieces. They're legacy choices, built to outlast seasons, careers, and headlines. His fashion follows the same philosophy. Amiri suits for big moments. Dior tailoring when refinement matters. Louis Vuitton travel pieces that move as often as he does. Individual items can run from a few $1,000s upward, but none of them feel like costumes. Everything looks lived in, intentional, and owned. Even his branded items, bags, sunglasses, jewelry, stay minimal. Nothing oversized, nothing screaming for attention. Just quality, weight, and restraint. That restraint might be the real luxury. Because the most expensive thing Travis Kelce owns isn't a watch or a jacket. It's the freedom to choose when to be seen, and when not to explain a thing. And that's what separates wealth from real luxury. Getting into his personal life, Travis Kelce has learned his hardest lessons away from the field. Early in his career, his love life played out publicly. A reality TV romance came and went quickly, and it taught him something simple but lasting. Attention doesn't equal intimacy. Love needs space to breathe. That lesson shaped his longest relationship. From 2017 to 2022, Kelce was in an on-and-off relationship with sports journalist Kayla Nicole. Nearly 5 years together meant real attachment, real conflict, and real growth. When it ended, it didn't just close a chapter, it changed how he approached love altogether. He became quieter, more private, more intentional. After that breakup, Kelce spoke less about romance and more about patience. He made it clear that commitment wasn't something you rush when you've already seen how fast things can fall apart in public. Then came something different. In 2023, what started as a simple attempt to meet Taylor Swift turned into a relationship that unfolded slowly, deliberately, and under unprecedented scrutiny. Instead of hiding, they supported each other, she in stadium suites, he in concert crowds, without oversharing or performing for the audience. 2 years later, they announced their engagement. Taken together, Travis Kelce's relationships tell a clear story. Early love taught him visibility isn't connection. Long love taught him resilience, and later love taught him alignment. Today, Kelce doesn't chase romance for headlines. He protects it. Because for someone whose life is constantly watched, real love isn't about who's looking. It's about who stays. We all know controversies aren't always far from these big leagues. Travis Kelce's controversies have never been about scandal. They've been about visibility. Early in his career, criticism followed his emotional play style. Sideline blow-ups, heated reactions, and multiple fines for unsportsmanlike conduct painted him as talented but volatile. Coaches defended his passion. Critics questioned discipline. Over time, the moments became fewer, but the reputation lingered. In 2016, Kelce faced backlash for starring in the reality dating show Catching Kelce. Many saw it as a distraction unbecoming of a rising NFL star. Kelce later distanced himself from that chapter, acknowledging it didn't reflect who he wanted to be. His 5-year relationship with Kayla Nicole ended in 2022 and sparked waves of rumor about money, commitment, and loyalty. Kelce denied the claims without engaging further, choosing silence over escalation as online scrutiny intensified. The biggest controversy came not from his actions, but from his association. Once his relationship with Taylor Swift went public in 2023, Kelce became the center of a cultural crossover. NFL broadcasts focused heavily on Swift, prompting backlash from fans who felt football was being overshadowed. Kelce never addressed the criticism directly, allowing the conversation to move on without fueling it. There was also criticism around celebrity privilege, particularly private travel and media saturation. Again, Kelce remained quiet. And that pattern says everything. Travis Kelce's controversies aren't marked by wrongdoing. They're marked by learning when not to respond. Where he once reacted openly, he now chooses restraint. Travis Kelce's luxury isn't loud. It's earned. It shows up in control, not excess. In confidence, not chaos. In knowing when to enjoy success and when to keep it private. He didn't build a luxury life to impress the world. He built one that works for him. And here's one thing you can learn from this. Real luxury isn't what you buy when you make it. It's how you live once you stop trying to prove you did.